And it's talking about how to find percentage. So if a dress costs $155 and it is on sale with a discount of 25% off, what is the sales price of the dress? So there's a couple different ways you can do it. 25% can be converted to 0.25. So step one, go ahead and take 155 times 0.25 and see what you get. So in your calculators, multiply 155 times 0.25. Does anybody need a calculator? Now that's not your answer. That's just the first step. We're going to subtract it. You said what? Good. See? Math is everywhere. Oh. Okay, so what did you all get? I'm assuming $38.75. Is that what you all got? All right, but that's not the cost, though. What we have to do is subtract that amount. That's how much money they're going to take away. So to figure out how much you have to pay, you would take the 155 minus $38.75. And what would that give you? Is that about 116 or 122? 116. Who got 116? All right, so that means our answer would be B. All right, so now we're moving forward in unit 2 or part 2 of chapter 4. So we're going to talk about inverses. So let's go to page 8. So we're going to talk about inverse functions, which means that they are opposite. And in order for them to be opposite, the x and y values are switched. And when you put it in inverse function notation, you put that little -1. This -1 means inverse. That's not an exponent. So that's how you show that they're inverses, by putting that -1 next to it. All right, so let's go ahead and start graphing. Oh, let's talk about the 3 ways. Sorry, 3 ways to find the inverse. If it's a table, you just switch or say flip x and y. If it's an equation, we got to do 2 things. We have to switch x and y. That's the first thing we have to do. And then we have to solve it for y. And I think we'll do that on Monday. If it's a graph, we reflect it. And we reflect it across the equation y equals x. So those are the 3 methods. And one of those methods will be, that's probably going to be a multiple choice question on the test if I had to guess. Like, pick the 3 ways to find the inverse. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So let's look at this first one. we're going to actually graph it. So I want you to take this table and graph it. So let's put a point at -2, down 4. Put a point. And then at 0, down 3, put a point. And then at 2, down 2, put a point. And then at 4, down 1, put a point. And then try your best to connect or draw a straight line. If you have a straight edge, go ahead and put that. Use that to graph it. So what I'm doing is graphing that first function. Now, we just graphed f of x. So put in f of x. Usually I use 2 different colors, but if you don't have different colors, just label it. So I know that that red line or that first line is f of x. And now we're going to find the inverse. So when I find my inverse, I'm going to flip it. So all of these x values, I want you to go ahead and write here, which is y. So I'm going to write -2, 0, 2, 4. So all of these values are coming over here. And then you're going to take all of your y values in your first one and put it here. So you see what we did? We just took that table and we flipped it. All right, then I want you to graph. Go ahead and graph this. Yes. So if you look at the arrows, all of the x values became my y values, and all of my y values became x. So the first point, instead of -2, -4, it flipped to -4, -2. All right, go ahead and graph this one. So -4, I'm going to go left 4, down 2, put a point. And then -3, put a point. And then -2, up 2, put a point. And -1, up 4, put a point. And then you want to graph that. And label it. Put the little -1 next to f. And then the last thing we're going to graph one more line only on this one, and that's y equals x. So we really just need 3 points. So to graph that, I'm going to put a point at the origin and then put one off to the edge on both corners. And if you draw that, I'm going to draw that with a dashed line. That's my y equals x line. So for y equals x, you're just starting at 0. And if you want to use points, you could just say, put a point down at 5, 5, -5, -5, and 0, 0. Connect those points. And it should look like that. So do you see how the blue and red graphs are reflecting? If you think about a reflection, it's like it's looking at the mirror. If this is the mirror right here, these 2 graphs, they're opposite. So they're directly opposite. They're reflecting across that line. So what you should notice is that they are reflections. Going back to our third way to figure out if it is an inverse, it should reflect across the line y equals x. And you can actually see how it would do that. If you flip x and y and you graph it, it should reflect. All right, couple more. Let's go ahead and look at this one. Go ahead and graph it and then flip it and graph it again. So graph the first one, label it f of x. Can you wait a second? So I have -1 down 3, 0 down 1, 1, 1, and 2, 3. Go ahead and connect that point. Connect that. And then make sure you label it. Put the fx off on the side so we know that that graph represents this table. So we're going to label it by putting f of x to show that that's what that graph is. And then take your table and flip it. So when we flip it, I'm going to take all of these numbers, put these here. So I'm going to put all 4 of those numbers in x. So -3, -1, 1, and 3. And then take all of your x values and put them here. -1, 0, 1, and 2. All right, go ahead and graph it. So for my second line is -3 down 1. And then it's -1. And then it's 1, 1. And then it's 3, 2. All right, and when you draw it, and label it with the inverse notation, we can see that they are reflections across the line y equals x. All right, 2 more. So now this time we need to figure out our values. So I want you to, wait, is that the right question? Yeah. Is that the right question on the next page? All right, so now we need to find our values. So this is our function right here. We need to find our y values. So first you're gonna take your values. I want you to put in a -1. So with your calculator, go ahead and type that in. Take -3 times -1 plus 7. Type that in. And then your next number will be -3 times 0 plus 7. Type that in. And then you'll have -3 times 1 plus 7. Type that in. And then you'll have -3 times 2 plus 7. So go ahead and get your 4 y values. So what I did was I substituted the x values into the function. And this is the function. The function says -3x plus 7. So go ahead and get your 4 y values. All right, what you get for the first one? Somebody besides Chris. What did you get for -3, -1 plus 7? 10. Anybody else get 10? Okay, Johan, what you get for the next one? 7. All right, who has the next one? 4. And the last one? 1. All right, let's go ahead and graph it. So -1 up 10. And then 0 up 7. And then 1 up 4. And then 2 up 1. And then go ahead and connect that. I really should pass out little plastic rulers. if I had some. All right, go ahead and label that. And then flip your table. So I'm going to put all of those y values that I just got, I'm going to put them under x. So 10, 7, 4, 1 will go here. And then the other column will be -1, 0, 1, and 2. All right, go ahead and graph that. So 10, down 1, 7, 4, and then 1 up 2. And then label that with the inverse. And remember, it always reflects across the line y equals x. Just so you can see it. Hopefully you can see how it reflects across the line. All right, last one. Go ahead, pick up your calculators and find your y values. Then we can start on homework 2. So the function that they gave us, the function that they gave us was -2x plus 3. So those are my 4 numbers. I'm going to substitute it in. So type in -2 times -1 plus 3. Then you're going to do -2 times 0 plus 3. -2 times 1 plus 3. And -2 times 2 plus 3. Here you go, Charles. Sabrina, do you have your 4 numbers for this function?
Yeah.
What you get?
5, 3, 11.
All right, anybody else get those numbers? All right, let's graph it. So left 1 down 5, 0. Oh wait, I went the wrong way, not down 5. Left 1 up 5. And then 0, 3. And then 1, 1. And then 2, -1. All right, we're gonna go ahead and connect that through. And then label that. Always put the label because this is the original. So the original just gets f of x. All right, then we're gonna flip our table. So this will be a 5, a 3, a 1, a -1, and this will be a 2, a 1, a 0, and a -1. So then that would be 5 down 1. Oops. And then 3. And then 1, 1. And then -1, 2. And then you're going to label that with the inverse symbol. And remember, it reflects across the line, y equals x. So, if you have a table, you flip the table. That's how you find the inverse.